everyone, it's Erica. Welcome back to Maniacal Reader. Today I'm doing my late February book haul. I bought 17 books in February, so I have lots to talk about. The first few books in this haul are the physical books, so I thought I'd show you those first, and the rest are ebooks that I bought on my Kindle. The first book I want to show you is Best Kind of Broken by Chelsea Fine. This is the first book in a new adult romance trilogy, and this first book follows a girl named Pixie Marshall who's spending the summer working at her aunt's inn. When she's working at her aunt's inn, she comes into contact with Levi Andrews. Levi Andrews used to be her friend, possibly more, but that was before a life-shattering incident changed everything. Now Levi is the handyman at her aunt's inn, and she wants to avoid him, but she's finding out that she can't. For Levi, Pixie is the cause of all of his painful memories, and Levi knows that Pixie is probably better off without him. It sounds to me like a romance blossoms between these two characters after a long time being apart, so I'm looking forward to getting to this book. I love new adult romance, and this book sounds like it could be interesting. This is the first book in a trilogy, and I think this book follows one couple, but then the other two follow different couples from side characters that appear in this first book. The next book I want to show you is actually a book that I hauled in my January book haul, and it's called Linked by Imogen Howson. This is a YA sci-fi book. This book follows a girl named Ilse who is having these strange visions and phantom pains and bruises, and she doesn't really know where these things are coming from. She has found a cure, and on the eve of this cure, or this surgery, she realizes that she's actually seeing the world through someone else's eyes. She's seeing the world through her twin sister, who she never knew existed. So her and her twin sister are on the run from the government that want to capture her twin sister for some reason, because apparently her and her sister are hiding some dangerous secrets that the government wants to stop. This book sounds really interesting, and it's a book that I'm looking forward to reading soon, but the reason why I'm showing you this book is because this month I actually picked up the sequel to Linked. In my January book haul I mentioned that I wasn't sure if this book was a series or a trilogy, but it turns out Linked is actually the first book in a duology, and this second book is called Unraveled. This duology sounds really interesting, and I think I'm actually going to read it next month in April. The next book I picked up is Sapphire Blue by Kirsten Gier. This is the second book in the Ruby Red trilogy. The reason why I bought this book is because I bought these books from Book Outlet, and I just happened to see the sequel on Book Outlet, so I thought I should pick it up. I can't really remember what this trilogy is about, but I believe it's about this girl who can time travel, and I think that this book might have some fantasy elements to it as well. The next book I have here is The Secrets We Keep by Trisha. This is a YA mystery standalone. It follows these girls named Ella and Maddie Lawton. They're identical twins. Maddie has always been the outgoing, popular one, and Ella has always lived in Maddie's shadow. The girls get into a heated argument, and after that they get into a tragic accident that leaves Maddie dead. Ella wakes up in the hospital, and her family and friends believe that she is Maddie. Ella feels that she's responsible for Maddie's death, so in a split-second decision, she pretends to be Maddie, and her family and friends believe her. Ella is caught in a web of lies, and she has to decide whether it's right to step away from these lies and tell people that she is actually Ella, or whether she should live her twin sister Maddie's life. This sounds like it could be an interesting book because I've always been fascinated with twins. For that reason alone, this book sounds interesting to me, but I'd love to see Ella and Maddie's dynamic and why Ella feels responsible for Maddie's death, so I can't wait to get into this one. The next books I bought this month were all ebooks that I bought on my Kindle. This book I bought this month was Bully by Penelope Douglas. This book follows a girl named Tate and a guy named Jared, who used to be friends when they were younger, but when Jared went away for the summer, he came back and he was a bully to Tate, and ever since then, Tate and Jared's friendship has been over. Tate actually went to Paris for 1 year in order to get away from the relentless torment. And so when Tate comes back after her year in Paris, she comes back as a stronger person, and she doesn't really think that she would be as affected by Jared anymore. But for some reason, her feelings for Jared have changed, and a romance blossoms between Jared and Tate. I read this book with a book club that I belong to on Goodreads called New Adulting Central. This book club was actually started by Carol over at the Reading Wallflower and Ilse. I'll link both of their channels down below, and I'll actually include the announcement video down below, as well as the Goodreads group, in case you guys want to join this book club, since it's all about reading new adult books. The next book I bought was Breathe by Abbi Glines. This is the first book in her Sea Breeze series, which is a new adult romance series. This book follows the romance of Sadie and Jax. Sadie is a regular girl. She's working as a server for Jack Stone. Jack Stone is a celebrity, and he spends his summers in his Sea Breeze summer home. Sadie thinks Jax is cute, and she wants to get to know him, but Jax isn't sure if getting involved with Sadie is the best idea. So this book follows the ups and downs of their relationship. The second book I bought was Because of Low. This is the second book in the Sea Breeze series, and it actually follows the romance of Marcus as well as a girl named Willow, but her name is Low for short. Marcus is actually Sadie's best friend, and Marcus also worked as a server for Jack Stone in the previous book. Marcus is just that best friend and nice guy that everyone loves. Marcus comes from a rich family, but he is determined to make his own way in life, and Willow is a poor girl, but for some reason these opposites attract. The next book I bought was Well at Last by Abbi Glines. This is the third book in the Sea Breeze series, and it follows this guy named Cage York and his romance with a girl named Eva. Cage York is the best friend of Willow that we met in the previous book. Cage is sort of this playboy person who likes to have a good time with girls, but underneath he's really such a sweetheart. Eva is the farmer's daughter, whom Cage meets when he works on Eva's father's farm because he's trying to correct a DUI charge that he was charged with. The next book I bought was Just for Now. This is the fourth book in the Sea Breeze series, and this book follows Marcus's little sister Amanda and her romance with a guy named Preston, and Preston happens to be one of Marcus's best friends. I think I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. Preston is definitely more of a bad boy as opposed to the other books in this series, so I definitely liked him. I definitely like bad boys, so I did like this book because of that. But I also liked the sweet nature of Amanda in this book. Naturally, the next book I bought was Sometimes It Lasts. This is the 5th book in the Sea Breeze series. This book is the second book that talks about Cage and Eva's romance. I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. This is a book that I really liked. The next book that I bought is the 6th book in the Sea Breeze series, called Misbehaving. This book follows the romance of Jack Stone's younger brother Jason and his romance with a girl named Jess. Jason is definitely not as bold as Jackson, doesn't have as big of a personality. He's more of a quiet type. And Jess is the bad girl in his series that not everyone likes. The next book I got was Bad for You. This is the 7th book in the Sea Breeze series. This book follows Crit. Crit is a character that we met previously on in the series. Crit is the lead singer of a band that always plays at Live Bay, and Live Bay is the local club where all of the characters hang out together often. Crit comes across Blythe because Blythe moves into the apartment below his and his band members. Blythe isn't used to socializing because she comes from an abusive background and her parents abandoned her when she was young, so she's not used to being around people at all. Crit and Blythe strike up a friendship with each other that eventually turns into something more. I gave this book 3 stars. It wasn't one of the best books in the series, but I did still enjoy it. The next book I bought was Hold On Tight. This is the 8th book in the Sea Breeze series. This book follows Dwayne, who who we've met previously on in the series, and his romance with a girl named Sienna. Dwayne is a part of Marcus's friend group. I wasn't sure if I'd like Dwayne since before this book, readers never really got a chance to know Dwayne, but this book made me love him. I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. The next book that I bought in February is Until the End. This is the final book in the Sea Breeze series. Trisha is the older sister of Crit. So this book is about her and her romance with a guy named Rock. And Rock is also one of Marcus's friends. This book follows the backstory of how these characters met and how their relationship developed. Since all throughout the series, Rock and Trisha have been married to each other, so this final book in this series is actually a sneak peek into their relationship, which we've known about all along. This book allows us to find out how their romance started. And this book actually gives us epilogues into all of the other secondary characters throughout the series, which I really enjoyed. I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. It was really amazing. The next book I bought in February was Ramsay by Mia Sheridan. This is the first book in a series, but each book can be read as a standalone. This is a new adult romance series, and I actually found this book when I looked more into Archer's Voice. Archer's Voice is the 5th book in this series, and I didn't know that before. I got Archer's Voice for Christmas, but when I looked more into it, I realized that Archer's Voice was part of a series, and Ramsay happens to be the first book in this series. Ramsay follows this girl named Lydia, and Lydia is shocked when Brogan Ramsay reappears in her life. Brogan Ramsay is the boy that Lydia cruelly hurt, and she left his family penniless. When Ramsay reappears in Lydia's life, she expects that Ramsay is still going to be the quiet, sensitive boy that she remembers. But it turns out Ramsay is back for revenge, and he wants to destroy her just like she destroyed him. Ramsay doesn't realize that Lydia is still the girl that can leave him breathless, no matter how much he hates her. To me, it sounds like Ramsay and Lydia have a hate-to-love relationship, and I can't wait to see what happens to these characters in this book. It definitely sounds like a relationship that I'd be intrigued by, and one that I haven't read before. So I assume this is definitely going to be an interesting book. The last book I bought in February was Like a Memory by Abbi Glines. This is the first book in another new adult romance series that she's writing, and this book talks about the children from the Rosemary Beach series as well as the Sea Breeze series. This is the first book where those two series merge, which is one of the main reasons why I read Sea Breeze in February. I wanted to read this new release and discover what this new series was all about. This new book of hers was a middle of the road for me, but I can tell that I'm really going to like this new series since I loved the Sea Breeze series as well as the Rosemary Beach series. Those are all of the books that I bought in February. I hope you guys liked this video, and I'll catch you guys in my next one. I forgot to mention at the beginning of this video that I actually have new glasses, so this is the first time you're seeing those new glasses. I like them a lot.